Welcome! I'm Rhett, Captain of the Custodians, and today I'm going to be reacting to another Max0r video. So this one, by popular request, is going to be his Bloodborne review. I think this is his most viewed video. So, you know, well, I'm expecting the quality I have come to, well, expect from Max0r, that being about 833 jokes per second, with editing that could only be done by a coked-out artificial intelligence created by the Patriots. So, I'm excited to watch it. Just like last time, I'm going to be pausing, though I did read a comment that made a lot of sense. I'm going to probably rewind it a little bit every time I pause it, just so I can make sure I catch everything. Not really much. I guess I can talk about my experience with Bloodborne. I've played about 15.5 seconds of Bloodborne. In terms of the Souls games themselves, I've played, like... I got, with Dark Souls 1, I got to the really shitty cave thing. There's a giant drop and there's bridges and you have to go down. I think it's right before the poison fuck area. And then Dark Souls 3... I also didn't get that far into. I own Dark Souls 3, but I haven't played it. And then, of course, I haven't played Sekiro or Elden Ring or Breath of the Wild. That's a joke. I've played the fuck out of Breath of the Wild. Let's see. Well, let's, I don't know. Let's get started. Let's find out if this is the Dark Souls of Max0r reviews. I guess that's it. Not too much to go in there. But before we get started, hey, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, follow me on, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, follow us on our social medias, links to the top of the description, like Twitter and Twitch. I stream every Friday at around 7 to 8-ish p.m. Central Standard Time. And then, I read Tokyo Ghoul and My Hero Academia Vigilantes when it updates. I'm gonna probably start streaming more, though. So stay tuned, stay posted, follow us on Twitter for that. Then if you would, please support us on Patreon and get a shout out during the video. Boom, right there. All those sexy, awesome, mega hot patrons. You get access to, yeah, that shout out, as well as access to Patreon exclusive polls, our Discord, which is super fun, and of course, full-length early reactions. When I post this, I am super behind on those. College is not, it's not fun. I hate responsibilities, but I'm going to be working my absolute damnedest to rectify that. Let's see, anything else? No, let's just get started. This is Max0r's Bloodborne review. Defeat gods, dull waifu simulator. Let's get started. Anga. 3, 2, 1, go.
The video has spoilers.
Bloodborne is a Lovecraftian horror RPG that no one understands.
Okay, hold on. Well, hold on. This doesn't... He sounds different in this one.
But the player is...
Hold on, let me see if I can get...
The video has spoilers.
Bloodborne is
the fucking... whatever her name is. Fuck off. Of course. Don't look up the cat's name.
Lovecraftian horror.
Alright. Oh, I'm not gonna try it. I'm probably gonna fuck up the capture. Lovecraftian horror. I have heard that it's kind of like... It's more of like, Van Helsing style shit than like fantasy. Which, that sounds really cool, actually.
Horror RPG that no one understands by definition, where the player is free to attack hordes of human children at will and consume their innards. If that...
Jesus Christ. Yeah, he sounds different in this one. I wonder, I'm not going to exit out so I can check because it's going to close the capture, but I wonder if this is like one of his earlier pieces. That does look pretty fly, though.
In-depth and engaging anti-baby gameplay appeals to you. Keep listening, because it gets worse. In this game, you play...
How does it get... That's one thing I remember, both Dark Souls character creators was fantastic. I always liked making Nigel Thornberry. Ah, look at those glasses, look at them! Is this like a steampunk-esque type environment?
John Bloodborne.
There it is, it's John Bloodborne! Dude, it's Mr. Chief, it's Mr. Halo.
Foreigner incapable of speech without the use of sign language, and stricken with Habsburg disease, comes to the ancient city of London seeking...
Is it actually set in London? Is this actually set in Londinium?
Capable of speech without the use of sign language, and stricken with Habsburg disease, comes to the ancient city of London, seeking treatment for the sins of his cousins. In doing so, he will begin hallucinating talking dogs.
Okay, hold on. Probably not gonna pause it for every fucking 1 second meme, but
for the sins
gotta
of his
see
cousins.
that one.
In doing so, he will begin hallucinating.
All right. Cat just almost died. That's fine. Trollface Doug, you Trollface Doug's fucking, of course.
Talking dolls, spider people, and
I'm a doll!
Doing so, he will begin hallucinating talking dolls, spider people, and the great journeying further, John Bloodborne becomes conscripted into the service of a gay elder god and the 60-year-old man he...
Hey, it's current year. Whatever, like 1845. Current year, alright? Elder gods can be gay. It's fine. Dear, oh dear, what was it? The hunt, the blood, or the horrible dream?
Keeps as a pet, and is given the ultimate task of killing an invisible infant in order to cure his anemia.
Can you imagine worse worlds to live in? I'm sorry I'm pausing a lot. Oh my god, we're not even fucking a minute in yet. You can just dislike the video now. But can you imagine worse worlds to live in than like the Souls worlds? Because it just seems like there's no place of rest, there's no area of safety, there's no society. It's just every now and then you might find a person that doesn't want to, you know, like invert your insides. But then you can just walk like 8 steps further, and you know a fucking swing set turns into, you know, Klingthon, the devourer of children's kidneys. Like, I can't imagine a worse world to live in.
Accomplish said Herculean task, the player must journey through dark forests, terrifying nightmares, and the meth-ridden alleyways of a post-Brexit Britain, slaying monsters, exploring, and tricking women into being impregnated by gods.
No maidens? Shit, what was I gonna say? Probably wasn't funny anyways. Let's continue.
So you can consume the child.
Kill the baby! It's a stupid fucking baby! If you didn't watch our season finale reaction to the Book of Boba Fett, which we streamed on our 3,000 subscriber special, you would know that I have a very large displeasure for Baby Yoda, and so throughout the entire thing I was calling him a stupid fucking baby. So now a lot of people just think I have a problem with children. Which, you know, if it's a dumb, stupid fucking baby, I mean, it's not my fault that it's a dumb, stupid baby.
Is an excellent realization of a Metroidvania with something new around every corner. A great action RPG which pits you against insurmountable odds and extreme challenges, and has a gripping story and lore about discovering the Eldritch truth.
What was that?
Here's the
thing.
And has a...
I probably, if I had an infinite time, I would play every single one of these games before the review. Not only because then I get to go, I remember that was funny. But also, you know, because I do like to. I mean, if you're familiar with this channel and with myself, you know that I'm a big hater of spoilers. So, you know, it's one of the reasons why I don't want to react to any of the other Metal Gear ones or the Devil May Cry ones, because I do want to play those. I really want to play those. So, again, recommend non-Metal Gear Solid and Devil May Cry Max0r videos, or just videos in general for me to ingest for you. All right, let's continue.
Gripping story and lore about discovering the Eldritch truth.
YMCA. What the fuck am I looking at here? Look at that thing. You know what? It kind of looks like a fucking, you know, ray tracing version of that one fucking Pokemon from Gen 7, the Lollipop. It's got like that spindly nothing and then a giant bulbous head.
Truth. So if you can, play it yourself, because I'm not going to hold back on the details. It's no secret that my reviews are entertainment first, so I don't suggest using me as
these are detailed analysis. I wish I could formulate a coherent thesis like this. All right. You are the true proof that there is objectivity in art.
Advice. However, most people can't play this game, ever.
Again, oh my god, we're a minute and 25 seconds in. Feel free to leave the dislike. Feel free. Go for it.
Because you have to buy a $400 magical box sold by the wizard Sony in order to experience it. And even then, you get to see it in an amazing 30 frames per second with no anti-aliasing.
Port this game to PC, I beg of you.
In fact,
is it
I can
not
assume that a lot of
gotta
people
be, is it
watching
not
this video
ported?
will basically never play the game. But keep watching because I'm hilarious and original. Do that.
Can Persona 5 music stop being just so goddamn fucking, you know, jive-worthy?
And I can give you the full, unfiltered, uncensored, unsubstantiated, and unsportsmanlike experience that is
fuck is that?
Bloodborne. The gameplay is what makes this game great, and the easiest way to describe it is simple.
Yeah, this... Obviously, the editing is still good, but it's definitely not as in-your-face aneurysm-inducing as previous works, so this must have been one of his older ones. Cool.
But
Shadow of Yarnham.
Complicated. On a simple level, your baby brain is responsible for only 2 tasks, dodging and hitting. And dodging in this game renders you temporarily invincible. Sounds easy, right? Wrong. Because every single enemy is adjusted to keep pace with you. Basic enemies are basically able to whoop your ass into fucking non-existence. Every encounter, therefore, is tense and engaging. When you kill someone, it's because you were faster and had more meth than they did. On a complicated level, you have a gun, and normally bullets hurt people. But in London, bullets are a suggestion, like the Geneva
Jesus Christ, that's it? Man, what they smoking in
Convention. Here in England, it's all about the knife
the Geneva Convention. That didn't age well.
bins. Except when you shoot somebody mid-attack, you gain the mystical and arcane ability to plunge your fist through their ribcage like Mortal Kombat and rip out their heart, which is considered rude and a slight annoyance. This extends to behind them if you charge an attack, which some...
That is a lot like Mortal Kombat, where, you know, you could rip out somebody's entire internal systems and just have them be a skeleton with skin on it, and they'd be like, yeah, no, let's continue to fight. I mean, you bumped into me in a cutscene, so now we must fight to the death. But don't worry, we won't die.
Sometimes causes you to reach up a pig's asshole and rip out the prostate like fruit by the foot. Side note, the most optimal farming route for currency in this game is called Murgo's Pig Fisting Route. See, I changed the webpage. And in this route, you sneak up behind this guy and do him the dirty. Then entice these 2 swinular bastards to be mauled to death by members of Organization 13.
Has he done Kingdom Hearts stuff? But also, those pigs have giant eyes? Or a bunch of eyes? Were those spider pig?
Repeat 50 times. On a complicateder level, every single weapon in the game has 2 different modes with 2 different movesets, and transforming between them gives you special attacks
super
in
cool.
addition to running attacks, plunging attacks, On a theoretical physicist level, your character memorizes squiggly lines and fridge art created by gods for passive bonuses that work regardless of weaponry. My favorites are more money, and more money they stack. Finally, on a meta-theoretical chiropractic level, every weapon is customizable with different gem slots that give differing effects for your attacks. And there are different types that can literally change all of the stats of the weapon, like making a fucking spear do more damage based off of intelligence. There's definitely more and a lot of strategy. That's how your brain go good, and the spear get pointier. That's how my math work. It's how stick work as well. Why do you think we got smarter when we killed the mammoth? Because brain equals stick. Alright? Stay woke to this shit. And how you level up your character, but I assume that you know how to level up in a fucking video game. But with all this combat prowess, you may be wondering, Max0r, who are these crusty abominations that you're fighting on screen?
Oh, is he gonna go
learn that much, we're going to have to delve into the lore.
I don't think I'm ready.
So, buckle your britches, bitches, because this shit is wild. If I say something questionable, just accept it as fact. I can be trusted. 60 years ago, 20 rowdy college students took their education extremely seriously because they found...
That's my music right there. I like that music. Altar of Despair. Sounds about right.
Woman Cthulhu. She was just in a portable toilet downstairs. Also, because they were bored, they beat to death a god of the sea with some bats, but that's a story for later. It turns out the entire world is ruled and created by a race of elder gods beyond human comprehension called the Great Ones. Figuring this out, they got Cthulhu's blood and were like, we can make a religion out of this.
That's cool.
because it turns out the blood can heal people, which is really good due to all the knife crime. So everyone starts drinking it a little too much and they get the money to build 36 cathedrals, but it turns out eventually the blood turns you.
That's something I also wondered in Dark Souls. Who the fuck is building everything? You can't walk 3 steps without being attacked by, like, fucking a dragon's, you know, inflamed, resurrected, self-guiding kidney stone. So, like, who is able to actually construct these massive structures of, you know, beautiful architecture? Was it the dragon's kidney stone? Because in which case, now I feel like an asshole because I'm just running up on his house. Who makes all these things in this world?
You into a werewolf. So the church hires a guy named German to go fight the beasts for an organization known as the Hunters, but there's too many beasts, so he gives up. Now the knife crime is increased even more, and German sort of goes insane and creates a life-size doll of one of his students who is an 8-foot-tall Amazonian. He also canonically has sex with it. The moon god, for some reason, kind of takes notice of this and is like, alright, listen, I'm building a suicide squad. I will bring your waifu to life.
Are we some kind of hunter squad?
If you serve me for all time as my slave. German reasonably thinks that this is a great deal and is imprisoned in a dream. This is where you come in. See, the moon god assassinates baby gods for fun, but needs a hitman to go into the real world to do it since he's confined to the 9th dimension. So in addition to fighting all manner of giant beasts and uncovering dark secrets, the true—
How much of this is explained in the game? Or is this like a Destiny, where you have to, like, go out of your way to find this shit out?
true aim of this game is to commit infanticide. There's enough bullshit here to
kill the babies!
So comment your own poorly summarized Bloodborne lore below. And for the rest of us non-shills, we have ample time to explain more of what makes this game great. Yes, you have been jinked. I am talking about bosses before I talk about the levels. In most video games, bosses cap off areas, but in Bloodborne, areas are preambles to a dick flattening, and nothing will challenge your skill in quite the same way, except for the goddamn Witches of Hemwick, who were placed into the game for disability access. You can—
The fuck? What the fuck?
You can probably tell that Bloodborne is a hard game. We don't even—
Jesus Christ, the range on that! Hold on, backing it up.
Hemwick, who were placed into the game—
First off, are those barnacles, teeth, or eyes?
For disability.
You know, I hope that that is what he's referring to is just an easy, a super easy boss. Because, you know, after all this shit, having something that you can just absolutely wail on and bully, that's gotta be really cathartic.
The access. You can probably tell that Bloodborne
Okay, look at that. He's an entire football field away.
is a hard—
And he absolutely did a revengeance there. Where, you know, Raiden cuts things that are like 20 feet thick with a 4-foot blade, and he just cuts it in half. That's exactly what he just did there.
Game. We don't even know if a games journalist can beat it. But it's hard in a fair way that tests your skills and reaction time, except for Lawrence, but I'll get back to Lawrence later. What sets this game's bosses apart is that the challenge makes it feel like you're a really small dude jabbing a toothpick into a building-sized deer demon. So yeah, I would be impressed if he killed that. But not only that,
Jesus Christ.
Like Dark Souls, every single boss reacts meaningfully to how you attack them. Large beasts can have their bones cracked and their tendons wound into a slinky. Bone boys can be knocked over and have their marrow sicked. And human enemies will wince and recoil when they see your height difference. As well,
okay. That's kind of... So there's like, reflexive damage, or like contextual damage. That's cool. What's the preferred, Soulsborne kind of game? Is it Bloodborne? One of the Dark Souls? Is it fucking Sekiro? Elden Ring now? I doubt that would be the chosen one, at least so early now. But yeah, what's the you know, creme de la creme of these kinds of games?
The boss punishes you for cowardice and actively discourages backpedaling with their forward momentum, causing every fight to be an elaborate dance with a thrilling back and forth. Unless you're fighting Rom, who is the really hungry caterpillar if he had a legion of arachnid slaves who threw their heads underground like ostriches. We don't talk about him. And while we're on the subject of bad bosses, this motherfucker, let me tell you something. The humanoid bosses in this game are paradoxically the most dangerous. But Mikolash is a psychological hazard that will hurt you personally.
Yeah, I've heard that, where it's like, if it's a big boss, it's like, whew, okay. If it's a small boss, you're like, oh god.
This boss literally feels like cut content because the fight centers around chasing him, and his direction depends on RNG, making him an actual speedrun killer. When you corner him, he uses one attack, and then you chase him again, where he gains the power to insta-kill you. God forbid you're hit by him, because that's 10 minutes gone. Here's a tip. Save up 10 poison knives and steal from your family if you must. Then wait until he jumps down this hole, poison him repeatedly, and watch him spaz the fuck out until death. You will thank me. But as a result of everyone who isn't Miko shit, conquering a boss in this game is
I was getting annoyed with Miko, and I only watched him for 30 seconds.
That other games cannot match. It's only because the odds are
Hey, don't go doing Garfield racing dirty like that. Come on.
Stacked against you in ways that don't feel bullshit.
Most of the time.
That conquering them is the main reason I play, and their fights are undoubtedly the best I've ever done at video games. But that isn't most of the time in the game. In fact, a lot of your time is spent exploring the areas, so let's get into that. Lesson 1 in area design. Where the fuck am I going? Exploration is the name of the game, except it's called Bloodborne. Only this time, you don't bring smallpox and kill 20 million people. We're looking at a solid 10 this time, because the main enemies in this game are British townspeople. It's how developers made sure you didn't feel bad about killing them. The plague of beasts infecting London causes people's teeth.
That was something I did wonder. I remember playing, like, again, 15 seconds of fucking Bloodborne. I walked around, like, and it's just like, you know, walking around, then all of a sudden, hey, human beings, and they're all trying to kill me. What the fuck is that about? A disease or something? Is that what he said?
To become beast-like, makes you aggressive at night, and slurs your speech. So it's up to you to stop them, as a hunter should. If you don't look up where to go next in this game, good fuck.
Although, having your title be a hunter, it's badass. That's dope as shit. I know, it's just like, oh, hunter, that's it. That's all it takes for Rhett to go, oh, that's cool. Yeah, that's all it takes. Fuck off. Again, dislike, you can leave it.
Fucking luck. People get lost all the time. Get used to it. This game doesn't do exploration like—
Hold on, that kind of shows how old this is. That was, I mean, I'm sure he would reference Lost now, but still.
Oh, look, there's loot in this hallway. My dopamine's gonna go crazy. That's baby shit. This is Daddy's exploration, where you find a route back to a place you were in 10 hours ago. And I hope you weren't expecting a mini-map, or any map. Every single hallway is a rabbit hole of discovery, and your hand isn't held. Case in point, Cathedral Ward is a level, but feels like a hub area because it connects to fucking everything. And where you start the game is in the middle of—
Holy shit, is this the actual map? Nightmare of Menace, Lecture Building, Yargul, Unseen Village, Old Yaharnam, Central Yaharnam, Isokia's Clinic. That sounds nice. The Forbidden Woods. There's always a Forbidden Woods. Hemwick, Charnel Lane, Forsaken Castle, Canehurst, Cathedral Ward, Upper Cathedral Ward, Healing Church Workshop. Hey, that sounds like a pleasant after-school activity, extracurricular. Old Abandoned Workshop. Oh, and also Moonside Lake. I'm sure that's a pleasant place. Oh wait, Nightmare. I can't see it. Things in the way.
Of a loop-de-loop involving torturous experimentation. Just look
at the fucking map of
this game. Everything overlaps. And yes, there is a level called Nightmare Lecture Hall, and no, it does not—
That's what it was! Nightmare— Thank you, Max0r.
Connect to the Altar of Despair, although you would think that. Fittingly, the Lecture Hall is the smallest area, and more fittingly, 90% of the combat is graduates throwing cum at you. The game also has 2 completely secret areas that you would not find without the internet. I would tell you how to enter, but I don't want to do calculus. And what you get at the end? Upper Cathedral Ward is legitimately a horror area in a game loved for its combat, because it's filled with enemies who act out my greatest fears. Stealing currency permanently gives me fucking chills every time I talk about it. Castle Canehurst is proof that From Software hates us all, since the best area in the entire game requires you to go to the Field of Corn in Ohio and trek down Waldo. But it's worth it to invade the house of that parasitic queen dwelling in her demented castle, so that she may feel the wrath of the proletariat. All we have to do is kill Prince Philip, who guards the way as an eternal lich. On top of this, there are numerous NPCs and NPC questlines spread throughout the world, all with a series of interactions with each other depending on location and timing. For instance, you could direct nuns, prostitutes, and Prince Philip to a church run by a lonely black sludge, then perform enough blood transfusions to send the nun into a yandere rage. Or you could direct them to the nice
Jesus Christ.
woman who—
Fucking, like, how much, like, secret, or not necessarily secret, but, like, just kind of, like, content that isn't, I guess, explained to you or shown out to you out front is there in this game.
The clinic down the street who only wants to help and assist others. Then take a strange path through the forest and into her clinic to discover that she has been experimenting on all of them in order to create the Blue Man Group. And
oh,
if you
so
want,
she's making Mega Mind.
The umbilical cord away from her schizophrenic ass and eat it. The sky's the limit in Bloodborne questlines. And you know what my favorite questline is? The one where you descend into literal hell, complete with eternal punishment, insanity, and...
What is this game? I mean, I get it's a Souls game, but Jesus!
femboy fish.
Who has this shit just in their brain that they can just write down? I'm talking about the fucking creature creators, the character designers for this game.
The scariest of them all. I'm of course talking about the DLC, the only DLC for this game. And if you play through Bloodborne, you have to play through the DLC. I'm not giving you a fucking choice. So to learn why, you should play the best expansion ever made since Spore Galactic Adventures.
Jungles.
Come with me on this amazing journey to find the secrets of the Bloodborne, the old hunters.
Part 3, add in 2 seconds.
I want you to imagine hell. Now imagine hell written by H.P. Lovecraft. It will be filled with squids, immigrants, and air conditioning. This DLC has none of that except the squids. For you see, those college kids from the lore section of the video were built fucking different. They experimented on an entire village and possibly beat up a god of the sea so fucking bad that her consciousness in the 9th dimension died. We spent an entire game killing an infant and these guys somehow killed the MILF god. But anyways, in the process of this, it cursed them and all of the hunters to be doomed to a hell upon death, where they will hunt in a bloodthirsty rage without rest for all eternity, indistinguishable from a political...
So the DLC is about killing the hunters that killed the sea god with the baseball bats, that kind of kickstarted all this shitty shit. Good. Fuck them.
Subreddit. Case in point, this is Ludwig. He's the first boss of the DLC and has a reputation for causing refunds. Not because he's bad, but because he's too good for you. The first phase is as difficult for me as realizing that Golden Corral is not actually a real corral. But like every restaurant except Golden Corral, the rewards at the end are delicious because his second phase is even harder. Now, I'm not going to lie, this DLC has 4 bosses and 3 of the hardest bosses I have ever fought in any video game ever. So your ass will be clenched the entire time, and the fact that he's the 3rd hardest is fucking concerning.
Okay, what is he? Can we roll that back? What the hell?
Ever. So, your ass...
So he's got horse hooves, or like just hooves in general?
Will be clenched the entire time. And the fact that he's the 3rd...
He's got a sword. He's like a giant, gross centaur. Ew. Hi, Ludwig. Oh, the Holy Blade. Oh, good for him. He's a good Christian boy.
Hardest is fucking concerning. Some people tell me, Max0r, your videos have gotten me through tough times because they made me laugh. But like this boss, you are the one who is truly overcoming these challenges. And I believe in your ability to beat both of them. King, Boss Lightning Round. The DLC has many such cases of amazing bosses, including Lady Mega who is the basis for German's extremely creepy 8-foot-tall doll fetish, but we'll get back to that. And Orphan of Cause, who was born from the literal dead body of a god. If you enjoy the sensation of being beaten to death with a sharpened placenta, this is the fight for you. And as with everything that From Software makes, they threw in a boss that they didn't really finish and called it a day. I'm of course talking about...
The boss that's unfinished, the difficulty comes from how bullshit broken it is.
Lawrence, which is a very mundane name for a fire monster locked in hell. Take my advice, don't fight Lawrence, you only lose a part of yourself. Since this boss fights you by dropping off his own legs and then violently vomiting and shitting lava everywhere. I've always wanted my game about dynamic dodging and elaborate fencing to be reduced to shitty area denial like it's Team Fortress 2. To wrap things up, the music of this game is pretty good, but the DLC music is fucking insane. I don't know what it is about Japanese composers being able to make better symphonies than the continent that invented them, but just take a listen.
Holy shit, I'm alive right now.
Have you ever thought, as I do, that this game is just too good, that you would really rather be playing a shittier version of the game, such as the engagement of the Chalice dungeons? I, of course, jest. They're fine, probably, except for half of them, because Bloodborne has an optional system of infinite dungeon generation for all of them.
Why does it feel like you're going up against some of the creatures from Monster Hunter World, except you are not using comically large weapons and having fun?
Those who wish to break free of the shackles of good level design. Let's talk about how, and more importantly, why. First of all, Bloodborne has a system of dungeons that everyone shares and dungeons that are random.
So is this like, so this isn't DLC, so is this like a multiplayer a multiplayer thing, like in the base
My
game.
footage, I played the shared dungeons so that you can be guaranteed the pain you witness on screen is mandatory. One of the biggest strengths of Bloodborne is the ability to have interesting and challenging enemy encounters gently rubbed.
Jesus Christ! Just a bang, 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 bang! So if you get hit once, you're basically hit stunned into getting killed, huh?
With the blood-stained hands of Miyazaki, but I don't think I have to explain to you how randomizing almost every encounter in the game could be imbalanced. Unfortunately, most enemies you encounter in the Chalice dungeons are new to spare British people your wrath, so you instead fight SCP-96. But why are we here?
Why did you do that? No! Max0r's killed us all! That right there. Okay. That's a universe that might be worse than... No, is worse than any Souls universe, and that's the SCP one. That and the regular show universe, because there's really no difference. The SCP universe and the regular show universe, you could just do something, you know, completely benign, just absolutely normal. Nothing of any note happens. Nothing of any note would happen otherwise, except this time, just randomly... you pick up your phone and it's the, 47th in a long line of phone gods that just happen to call you coincidentally, and now you have to, traverse the phone realm forever. That's both something that I can see happening in the SCP world and in regular show. So, yeah, those two are worse.
The city of London was built on a Celtic burial ground, an ancient civilization called the
Londinium,
Sumerians, who discovered the healing powers of blood and then mysteriously disappeared. Wow, I wonder what happened. This is all cool in theory, but the reality is that most of the time you fight the same 4 enemies, and the first 3 dungeons can be replaced by Simon Says. My cat literally wouldn't notice. The Chalice dungeons are so forgotten that the developers use them to put joke enemies into the game. My favorite is the man who aggressively rolls at you stark naked wearing only his Nikes. The unique
That's supposed to be you? Are they clowning on you?
This also extends to the bosses, and they're actually pretty cool, like Tumerian Descendant, Watchdog, and the 3 overweight men. Do you remember that basic enemy from like 2 levels?
He is
the boss now.
Rom,
he is the boss again. The only thing stopping me from throwing myself into a wood chipper is the fact that Mikolash isn't back. And if you're going to have replays, you probably want to make sure that they're actually good. In fact, the bosses are so fucking imbalanced that the Watchdog fight is primarily comprised of instant kill attacks. I beat Sekiro backwards on a keyboard, and this shit is too fucking much. Now, normally that would be all, but the dungeons go deeper. What we have discussed so far is merely the surface, and there is a much darker syndicate lying just below. These places you must never venture, for they are the save edit dungeons, whereby through wizardry, the community are able to conjure up deep, dark chasms and share them with the rest of the world. Of these secrets, there are only 2 that I shall reveal to you, and the first is the Cum Dungeon. Yes, you heard that correctly and clearly. The Cum Dungeon is the name of the most optimal farming route ever conceived by the fucking cricket people who do this shit, whereby the player enters the chasm of place name.
So, wait, did I understand that correctly? Can you just edit your own dungeon? What?
And watches as a high-level boss yeets itself off a cliff. Murgo's pig fisting route can give you 10,000 echoes. This gives 83,000. And if you thought that sorcery was bad, it gets much worse. You can insert anything from the game files by save editing a Chalice dungeon. Anything. This includes cut and unfinished content from the game that the developers forgot to delete, like this doggo who attacks you with invisible lightning. Overall, the Chalice dungeons are bad. They're not actually very fun to play, and yet I love them. Everyone loves them because they allow us to further explore a long-dead game with the help of a passionate community. Now, before we sign off, I know—
So, I'm sorry. Is that actually like a dungeon creator, or like... Do people just make it one?
Know what you're thinking. Max0r, what about the multiplayer? That I would love to talk about with all the footage I have, but it's dead. If this game—
I hate that. I hate that sign. I hate it so much.
Game releases on PC and it better, then I will talk about the multiplayer extensively. And finally, this game and this video would not be complete if I didn't talk about the Hunter's Dream. After all the combat, the battles, and the difficulty of this game, it's nice to have a place to recharge, purchase items, upgrade weapons, and watch as it violently burns to the ground. This is where you'll find German slowly wasting away as his soul remains captive for an eternity, and his doll waifu that he sold his existence to be with. She talks to you, levels you up, offers you advice, and German says you're allowed to have—
So it's Pinocchio, but Geppetto was really horny.
have sex with her. When I fell down and felt defeated, she was there to pick me up. When I emoted at her randomly, she pretended to be impressed. And she was there, graciously standing in the background of this one shot that I took of myself. She is our waifu now, and the game is perfect and complete because she is in it. Now excuse me as I engage in the supplementary lore material. Should you get the game, yes, absolutely, I am biased. In fact, you should physically enter Sony's headquarters and demand that it be ported to PC. I will be right there with you. Tasers will not stop me. I would like to thank the corrupt hackers and politicians funneling money into this channel directly from the taxpayer. If you would like to contribute your funds accrued through extensive federal government corruption, you can head to my Patreon to learn more. I would also like to thank the kind denizens of the Mythbusters Smut Discord who sent me half the memes in this video. And as always, thank you for watching.
Well, alrighty, that was fucking Bloodborne, and holy shit. Ugh. Again, if you were like, Jesus Christ, this guy's pausing too much, there's the dislike right there. I'll probably write a comment so you can dislike that as well, or like that comment to dislike the video. You understand it. So, all right, let's see if I can piece this shit together. Okay, so you are a hunter who was born of an organization that may or may not be connected to German. I think that's what his name was. So, a while ago, there were a bunch of hunters who killed an elder being, an old being or whatever. But there's like higher planes of reality, right? And so there's like the physical manifestation, the avatar of these gods, and then there's the actual gods themselves in this higher level of reality. And they killed one of these gods' avatars, and they found out that the blood of these gods can heal you as well as other properties, which I'm sure not only created all these, well, maybe not created, but influenced all these fucking horrifyingly awful things in this world, but also is what eventually, overuse of that, is what I'm assuming, is what led them to become giant fucking murder monsters that you have to kill in the DLC. So, somehow, not at all connected, you get German, and German lost his girl that he loved, and so he sold his soul or something to the moon god, or just another old being, and she brought to life either a doll that he created or she just created like a homunculus doll thingy for him. And now he sold his soul to her. And he is the one that asks you or hires you to kill all these things. But he can't do it because he's old and lost his soul. That's the best I can do, I think. Clearly, I have to play this game. It's a shame I sold my PlayStation 4. Oh, man. Is it on PC yet? Can I buy it on PC? Or do I have to do something else to get it? Can I do something else to get it? Interesting. Oh, there's a Doom Eternal review. Well, I guess I know what I'm watching next. But yeah, anything else? Obviously, go watch the original video. From what I understand, this is like 2.4 million, so you almost certainly have already seen this. Anything else? What? What is the hardest boss in this game? And can you beat it with? Well, I'm sure you can, but can you personally beat it with a DDR pad? That's the question. So, thank you so much for watching. I'm Rhett, Captain of the Custodians. And if you're wondering, hey Rhett, where are all the anime reactions? And I'll let you tell you that these are a lot easier to make. There's a lot less editing required. Rosie, stop messing with my lights. But you know, college and whatnot has been very, very taxing on me recently. So I just wanted to get this out and done because it's super quick and easy. But those should be out very, very soon as well. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't, please like, comment, subscribe, and if you would, please support us on Patreon. It means the world. Now, have a good one. Bye-bye. Don't drink Elder God blood. It's just or sell your soul. It doesn't matter what boon you get in life. That's your immortal soul. It's gonna be... the amount of time you spend as, like, this soul servant is going to unimaginably eclipse the time you spent with the boon you got for selling your soul. It's not worth it. It's never worth it. All right? That's why you should... that's why you should worship... If you're in the Elder Scrolls, you should worship, like, Azura. Right? Or any of the Aedra. Don't sell your mortal soul. Because, you know, it's gonna... It's bad. Just don't do it. Okay. Bye-bye.